Hey everybody, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com, and today is the 18th of May. So we got some astrology for you, so let's go. It's going to be kind of complicated too, because I really missed this yesterday because didn't realize that when we went void of course with the moon in Gemini, it was going to stay that way. It's going to stay that way for all of Monday too. So we got Victoria Day in Canada. Good day for a Victoria Day, right? Good. Hopefully it's a bank holiday and you have it off. Now, we're kind of building up to Memorial Day here in the United States, so this is typically a short work week as well, because a lot of people will tend to take that Friday off to gain an advantage on some of that stuff, right? So let's talk about this. So the long void, of course, is just about perfect for that day off, right? Or for this short week feeling, only because the new moon intentions had to wait. That's why there wasn't such an emphasis on them, right? It's more intuitive. It's more like what we're supposed to be doing. And this is intuitive because Mercury changed signs into Gemini, right? Yeah, craziness, right? So think about this. Look, learning patience is part of this Taurus cycle's lesson, okay? We're almost out of it. It's not quite over. It doesn't end until a little bit later on this week. So while we're still in the Taurus season, we need to be keeping that in mind because Mercury is really like starting to get very active. Yesterday was a very active Mercury day, and I didn't appreciate that. So for various reasons. Okay, so this is going to be made extremely difficult because that Mercury day is getting everyone to start channeling their inner SpongeBob. Right? Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, now, there's an urge with the moon void, of course, in Gemini to flail about in that manic fashion, right? In that near manic fashion. This day will seem over before it begins. Well, as task after task is presented to us with no real way to accomplish hardly anything, right? Because it's just like, okay, whatever. So now, the week shortened, right? So now this is Memorial Day is actually occurring earlier than it usually does. It's going to happen on the 25th. That's Monday, right? Still have almost a full week in May after that. Usually it's right towards the end. And around here, it marks that beginning of summer, right? That's when the people go off and, open up their summer houses or go to the mountains and do the stuff, open up their camps up in Maine and New Hampshire and do whatever they do. So, what else do we got? Well, with that being a little early, it just throws like another spanner into the gears, as they say, up across the pond, or a monkey wrench into the works. It just gums it up, right? Mars and Venus are both changing signs today. Well, that sounds pretty significant. But the moon, being void of course, is kind of a little bit more important because that's what determines the mood and temperature of the day. However, the undertones of Mars and Venus changing signs are still very important. And they're very important for reasons that add nuance, and it adds to the seasonal feel of what we're doing, right? If we're in the Taurus season and we're enjoying life and what we're doing, and we're just making sure that we're building and working towards something, then this is going to give it a little bit more emphasis. And Mars is going to be entering the sign of Taurus. So this is going to give us some good stuff. But first, we got to get there. Okay? And that is what today is all about. Mercury is trying to change everything, okay? But just remember, we're in the Taurus season, so we're not going to want to change that hard, right? And this try to change everything so quickly can really lead to an ice cream headache. So today's keyword is whoa. Just slow it down. All right, so our color is going to be fluorescent yellow. You see it all over the place, right? Road crews and stuff like that. Everybody wearing fluorescent yellow. The garbage men, it's on police jackets and stuff like that now, just for visibility. Absolutely nothing happens today astrologically until 6:25 p.m. This is a focused void of course moon up until that point, from midnight all the way up to 6:25 p.m. And that's only when Mars leaves Aries for Taurus. Now, don't put yourself in a difficult position today. right? All that manic energy and stuff like that, don't commit and don't do anything, right? We are on the edge with Mars in the final degree of Aries, right? The roads are going to be a bit of a mess. Remember when we first entered the Aries season? Whoa, there were a lot of accidents and stuff like that. Whoa. Okay, so there's that keyword again. Whoa. All right, highway accidents, they were prominent. Now, hopefully there are no last-ditch acts of aggression globally, because Mars in that anaretic degree, the last degree of Aries, couldn't get very, very animated and very, very aggressive. So we don't really want that to happen. So watch out for your own aggression today. And just remember that we just got to make it to the evening, okay? Because that's when we're going to get a little bit of relief from this. After tonight, actions are going to come from much more measured place. Because it's not that impetus to change, do something, that Mars and Aries energy. It's Mars and Taurus. Mars is considered in fallen Taurus, so it doesn't function quite so well, and that's okay. We still have to keep on doing things, but we just don't have to do them with the kind of precision or the speed that we thought we had to with Mars and Aries. We can actually be circumspect about it and really think these things out. Now, someone is going to need to get the memo off to the inner SpongeBob characters, okay? Hey, just slow it down. Don't do it, okay? 9:05 p.m., Venus enters Cancer. Now, this is where Mercury can sit the F down. Okay, just stop. Stop with the craziness. Stop with the too many ideas. Stop with the waving hands, right? Just stop. All right. Look, to be fair, Mercury's only going to be in Gemini for 13 days. That's it. 13 days. So, and I got to tell you, I was cursing it. I was cursing it on Sunday because it's just Mercury and Gemini. It's not my style of communication, and it's just not. Nor is it my mode of thinking. Venus and Mars will be kinder and gentler in Taurus. In Cancer and Taurus, respectively. In fact, both the Moon and Venus will enter Cancer about 31 minutes apart tonight. And that is when our voidal course ends. Imagination is going to be on overdrive, right? Why? Well, we've got Mercury that's coming up to a sextile with Neptune. So this can lead to some serious overthinking, though. Don't do it, especially with Mars and leaving Aries. That aggression, if we visit some aggression upon others now, that's going to be remembered because we're building up to a new moon in Scorpio. And you don't want that, right? Our zeal for storytelling is going to get creative and possibly misleading as Neptune. Neptune. Neptune is sextile with Mercury. So look, fight the urge to leap into this dangerous and uncharted territory. Keep your feet firmly on the ground, okay? Now, the first aspect of Mars and Taurus will encounter is a sextile with the moon in Cancer. This is where we need to calm down and tend to the garden. Water is vital to our future harvest, and the waters of Cancer are made even more potent with the presence of both Jupiter and now Venus in that sign. So we're building something. We're building a super stable foundation on which to expand. Think about it that way. Let's just build that. Let's put our work into building the foundation. Let's establish the roots here. We accomplish this by tuning out those distractions of Mercury in Gemini and focusing this mental energy on things that will advance our monetary prospects. Let that hit. Mental. Now, this is a funny thing. Mental to martial energy is something. I was reading this through. I just happened to glance at it, and I saw mental, and I read that as martial. Martial meaning Mars energy. Mars energy meaning not martial as in, military-like and stuff like that, but more Mars-like, right? The active, that active creation, that action, that thing that brings the result forward, right? And it just struck me as that. I just wanted to leave that there, right? This alternate interpretation of the word martial, meaning more Mars-like, but Mars-like in our context that we speak about here on daily-astrocat.com. And this is how we redefine astrology, and this is how we make it accessible for everybody out there, all of you. It makes our conversation that much more nuanced and better, and we can just discuss it from a place where we're talking about Mars as an energy, as a creative force and as a force for doing things and getting things done, and of action, initiative and action, as opposed to pure aggression and just warlike tendencies. And with that, I'm done. So, in 1980, the eruption, on this day in 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted. Oh, that was big, okay? Largest landslide in history, killing 57 people and causing over $1 billion worth of damage. Now, guess who's back in the news? Mount St. Helens. That's right. Starting to smoke from that, what's remains of that mountaintop that blew off. There's a little crater there, and there's smoke starting again. And our birth is one of my favorite kinds of people, polymaths, right? In 1711, Roger Boskovic, his name in Croatian is Ruder Boskovic. He's a Croatian-Italian astronomer, physicist, poet, priest, you name it, inventor, does all those things, right? Born in Ragusa, which is Dubrovnik, in the Republic of Ragusa, which is currently in Croatia. He died in 1787. He is widely recognized as the person that came up with the precursor to atomic numbers. So it's very interesting. Just a fascinating person. If you get a chance to look into him, Roger Boskovic. And that is all I have for you. So let's recap, shall we? Boy, I went long today. The color is fluorescent yellow. Those work t-shirts. And our keyword is whoa. Whoa. Okay. This went long. Whoa. All right. That's all I have for you. Appreciate and love every single one of you. Keep those likes and reposts coming. Love it. It's just growing so quick. Today, be careful. Today's a 5. Happy astrocatting.